In the Tall Kings Challenge, I will be limited to signing players of 6'4" and above only, which is about 193 centimetres, or so Google tells me. This will limit my pool of available players, and in the early going force my hand to play a more direct style of football. So I have installed a database that lets you play all the way down to tier 10 in the English leagues, and I have decided to take over level 9 team, Biggleswade United. Partly because in this database they have no players, which makes them a clean slate, free for me to sign loads of giants without me having to clear out short players that are already on their books. Also, they have the word big in their name. So it just felt right. So we will be playing in the Spartan South Midlands League Premier Division, and interestingly, our fierce rivals are Biggleswade and Biggleswade Town. Who knew that Biggleswade was such a footballing hotbed? So we will be playing in the Keach Hospice Care Stadium with a 2,000 capacity, and it is noted as being in poor condition. And on that positive note, let's get signing some tall footballers. And sign them I did. So I brought in 25 players, all 6'4" and above. I've decided to try and play to our strengths and play a simple 5-3-2 formation with a direct route 1 style, where we aim to be solid at the back with our giant centre-backs and get it forward quickly onto the head of our target man, who will then hopefully either convert himself or lay it off to the poacher. We may get more fancy with tactics as the seasons progress, but I thought this was probably our best bet at this level, and it just kind of felt right. I didn't want to do, 4-2-3-1 Gegenpress with a bunch of 6'4" players in tier 9. So we'll have a quick look at some key players here. I like Tim Brown in goal. He looks to be a very good keeper for this level. We've got Luke Thompson. He looks a very good signing at centre-back, and all 6'7" of Vinny McKendy, who will be playing as the target man, with Jaheim White taking on the poacher role, because he's got decent acceleration and finishing for this level. So our first competitive game was the FA Cup Extra Preliminary Round against Long Melford. Incidentally, that name would have worked for this challenge as well, wouldn't it? Long as in they're long and tall, and we would have played the long ball. Missed opportunity. That game turned out to be a bit of a drab affair at 0-0, but we did manage to win 75% of headers in that game, as you might hope. However, the replay 4 days later at our place was much more exciting, with us coming out 4-1 winners, with goals pleasingly from both strikers, McKendy and White. The league season got underway in emphatic style, with my hope of us being solid at the back and effective at the front, seemingly coming into fruition, with 0 goals conceded in the league in September. One very pleasing result saw us run out 4-0 winners against the very oddly named Shefford Town and Campton. Surely Campton and Shefford Town sounds better? No? Just me? Okay. Poacher White got himself a hat-trick in this game, which actually saw us level on possession, with fewer shots overall, but our aerial domination and having the right players in the right roles turned it into a very flattering scoreline for us. White got himself a couple of poacher-esque goals, showing good movement and composure, but he also bagged a thumping header, showing off our aerial threat. Veteran striker Ben Halfaker actually came off the bench to bag himself a headed goal towards the end of the game as well. All of which means, going into September, we sit top of the league on 12 points, level with Real Bedford, but with slightly better goal difference. We're 17th for average possession in the league, with an average of just 45%, which is to be expected. However, something else that's also expected is that our strength really does lie in our aerial threat, with us being first in the Headers Won League with 216 in 4 matches, with a crazy 74% headers won ratio. That's miles ahead of everyone else. September saw us disappointingly knocked out of the FA Cup in the second qualifying round by Braintree. They dominated us on shots, possession, and were simply too good for us to cope with. Us winning 66% of headers was only good enough to keep the score down to 1-0. Their one and only goal came courtesy of Pavey in the 35th minute, as they cut through us and aimed a low cross in that our defence was unable to deal with. I suppose that's one tactic, aim it low and just confuse the big tall players. So we followed up that game in the league with a 1-1 draw against Cockfosters and a 2-0 win against London Colney in the FA Vars second qualifying round. We rounded out the month of September with a hard-fought 3-2 win over Alsey Town. A well-made goal with our right wing back in training, George Murphy, crossing in for White. White got his second goal following nice build-up play from McKendy and an assist from Whitewick, with a penalty from veteran defensive midfielder Matthew Halliday enough to secure the 3 points for us. Oh, and if you did want to see our team's height all listed so you can see that I really am signing 6'4" and above players, here you go. A team of giants, as advertised. October brought with it a huge test, a top-of-the-table clash against Real Bedford, which somewhat predictably ended in a draw, with both sides actually managing 6 shots on target. As expected, they got the better of the possession, and we won the aerial battle, with 68% of headers won no less. An own goal for Whitefield opened up the scoring for them after just 9 minutes, which was not an ideal start. They then doubled their lead 10 minutes before half-time. Wing-back George Murphy got forward to head in at the far post to pull one back for us. And Matthew Halliday scored a strange looping header following a scramble in the area after a corner to get the late equaliser for us. We managed to win the remaining league games in October, including an emphatic 4-1 win over Dunstable Town with 2 headed goals from 6'7" target man Vinnie McKendy, and not to be outdone, Jaheim White also bagged 2 headed goals. A total gift of a free header following a corner, and a nice powerful effort following a Curtis cross. That's 4 goals, all headers. That's what I'm talking about. To end October, we sit top of the league, clear of Real Bedford by 4 points, and still unbeaten in the league. We're 17th in the possession standings with 45%, and we're comfortably top of the headers won with 69%. Nobody say nice. November saw us bring a couple of new faces in. Say hello to George Baker Moran. He most recently played for Canterbury City. He's a 6'4" striker with 11 finishing and 11 acceleration and pace, and he's comfortable playing the poacher role. So he will likely become our starting poacher moving forward. He's got very good stats for that stuff. We also brought in 6'5" Jake Giddings. He's formerly of West Ham and Crystal Palace, although he never actually played a game for either. The aim with him is to try and bring some quality to our midfield, and he is an upgrade in that area for us. And we say goodbye to centre-back Sean Joseph, who left us to join Graham St. Prims after making just 1 appearance for us. Meanwhile, in the FA Vars, we've been on something of a run. We beat Reading City in the first round, and we managed to squeeze by Eastbourne Town on penalties to book our place in the third round. A screamer from outside the area from Isaac Noble was enough to level the game for us. Both sides actually missed their opening penalties of the shootout, but new boy Baker Moran converted to ease our nerves. It was then emphatic penalty after emphatic penalty until Derby hit the woodwork, securing the victory for the Giants. We did, however, lose our first league game of the season in a disappointing 2-0 loss to Harpenden Town. We did have more shots and higher XG, but it was them who put away their chances, with a fine goal from Liv following some excellent passing in the build-up, and Ewington rounded our keeper late on to put the game beyond doubt. We did manage to win our other league games though, meaning that we're still in the driving seat as we head into the chaotic Christmas period. We also got a very pleasing 5-1 victory against Moulton in the Spartan South Midlands League Cup second round. How's that for a catchy name for a cup competition? McKendy scored a goal with his feet, which is quite the rarity. A header from Halliday from a corner doubled our lead. A brace from Baker Moran followed with 2 nice finishes, while White came off the bench to remind us that he's still here. December saw 7 games in total. It started with the FA Vars third round game against Faversham Town. The game ended 0-0, but we snuck by on penalties for the second round in a row. But we were comfortably second best in the game, unfortunately, as shown by the fact that our best player was Tim Brown in goal, who actually caught a penalty to secure the victory for us. December was very positive in the league, with us winning all of our games, including a 2-0 win over Milton Keynes Irish, with Baker Moran bagging 2 goals. He had a sensational month and he's proven to be a fantastic signing, as he already leads our scoring charts with 15 goals, despite only being here 2 months. So we end the year on top of the league by 4 points, although Real Bedford do have a game in hand over us. For those interested in the possession and headers won leagues, we're still 17th for possession with an average of 46%, but we are top of headers won by some distance. We've won 113 more headers than the next best team, and we have a headers won percentage of 70%. Just how we like it. The British way. Also just wanted to highlight a player here, Owen Palmer, who's been retrained to play centre-back. He was formerly just a right-back, but we don't play with right-backs. So due to his 17 jump and reach, I converted him to a wide centre-back, and he's been a really solid player for us. So we are approaching the halfway point of the season and the video. And I just want to say thank you very much to those who are still watching at this point of the video. And if you are enjoying the video and you do want to see more from the save, please hit the like button to let me know that you're enjoying it, but also to signal boost this video. And if you do want to see a second season, the best way to do that is to subscribe to the channel. That way you should know when it drops. Alright, back to the season. We made another signing in January. Oliver Wilson comes in as a new option as a target forward. With his impressive 15 jump and reach and 14 heading, this should make him a formidable foe for opposition defences. He previously played for Boston United, so it seems he does have the ability to play at a higher level than the one we're currently at as well. We then got the new year off to the worst possible start with a 2-1 defeat to Leverstock Green, who incidentally have the strangest badge that I've ever seen in the English leagues. It's literally a cartoon tree with Comic Sans font, which to be honest made the defeat all the more painful. To be fair, regardless of their bad badge, They managed to match as well in a pretty even game. They scored a well-worked goal following a corner and followed that up 6 minutes later with another nice passing move. We did get a consolation goal back from Jaheim White, who scored an absolute banger from well outside the area. Things did get more positive following that though, as we picked up a win in the FA Vase 4th round against Newport Pagnell Town, where McCundy scored with his feet after a well-timed run, and Baker Moran banged a header in at the far post following a floated cross. I'd have expected those to be the other way round, but there we go. We also managed to get a nice 3-1 win over Aylesbury Vale Dynamos, with Baker Moran opening the scoring following a very quick and direct team move. He outsmarted the keeper to catch him off his line. Veteran Matthew Halliday, who's now 37 years old, converted a penalty for his 9th of the season. He's actually chipping in with a lot more goals than I anticipated, with the player role of anchor in defensive midfield. Whitewick showed some nice technique to finish this one on the half volley, following a nice assist from that man again, Baker Moran, but they did manage to pull one back with a ball over the top that cut us open far too easily. So February actually saw some relentless offers coming in for some of our players. Our goalkeeper Tim Brown, centre-back Harrison Falston, and right wing-back, now fully trained, George Murphy. They haven't had their heads turned yet and have actually rejected all the offers that have come their way. That is apart from Luke Thompson, who had been one of our starting centre-backs. He took AFC Dunstable up on our offer and is now turning out for them in the division below ours. That's ambition for you. We saw a double header against title rivals Real Bedford in February, and we somewhat surprisingly absolutely hammered them 5-1 in the league. I was also surprised to see the possession stats. They were very even, at 51% to 49% in their favour, but they only managed 2 shots on target, and it seems our style of play and quality of striker won the day. Bedford actually opened the scoring via the penalty spot after 5 minutes. However, we responded, with Baker Moran timing a run well to head home to score our first. Big Ollie Wilson tapped in for our second, and what has to go down as a goalkeeping error saw Seymour score after striking the ball directly at the opposition keeper, but it still found its way to the back of the net. Wilson also found himself with plenty of time to convert a nice floated cross from Seymour, and that man Ollie Wilson then rounded out his hat-trick with another headed effort, getting on the end of a deep cross from Giddings. We then played Real Bedford in the Spartan South Midlands League Cup quarter-final just 4 days later, but this time we ended up on the wrong side of a 2-0 defeat. They opened the scoring with an absolute screamer, and followed it up less than 10 minutes later with an all-too-simple tap-in to kill the game off. We won the remainder of our league games in February, and the league table looks like this. We're 6 points ahead of Real Bedford, with at least a playoff place secured. In terms of the possession table, we've actually climbed up to 16th, with our average now 47%, but we still massively lead the way in headers won, with a frankly ridiculous 70% headers win ratio. March was a strange month, and probably the closest to what you might call a wobble for us so far. We played 5 times, but actually lost twice. We got knocked out of the FA Vase at the quarter-final stage after suffering a 4-2 defeat to Nailsea and Twickenham. We had comfortable wins over Dunstable Town, Harpenden Town and FC Romania, but came unstuck against Sawbridgeworth Town as they beat us 3-2. Let's look at the goals for that one. A heavy deflection saw Whitefield generously awarded this goal to make it 1-0 to us. Sheriff managed to poke the ball home through a sea of bodies to make it 1-1. Whitewick scored a great goal from well outside the area to put us back ahead, but a penalty from Callahan evened it back up again. The winner was scored in the 77th minute as the ball kindly fell for Hayball, who had a good first touch and was able to score to earn them the victory. March did see us get our youth intake through as well. However, the same rules do apply, and they have to be 6'4" or above to play for us. I may make exceptions for 6'3" players to see if they grow anymore, but none will be playing for us until they meet the minimum requirements. Which unfortunately means 5'7" elite talent Dylan Lewis will not be signed. We will, however, offer contracts to 6'4" centre-back Valentine Mascu and 6'4" wide target forward Rob Lancaster. Moving into April and the final month of the season, we had 4 league games to decide the title. We didn't have the best month, winning just 2 out of the 4 games, including a huge 3-0 win over St Pantaleimon. Oliver Wilson opened the scoring in the 7th minute after a nice through ball from Whitewick and a well-timed run from the target forward. Baker Moran headed in just before half-time, and towering centre-back Owen Palmer headed in to make it 3. We then drew 1-1 against Baldock Town and lost 3-2 to Milton Keynes Irish to round off the season, but we've done it. We've done enough to secure first place in the league. We finished up 4 points clear of Real Bedford. Bedford really deserved to go up as well, given they were with us all the way, but as often happens with playoffs, it's the team who kind of sneak into the playoffs at the end that managed to kind of go up. I guess they're the form team, and that's what's happened here. So Colney Heath will be the ones to go up with us. We made it onto the club's favoured personnel list, which was nice, and as we prepare for life in Tier 8, we also got confirmation of £10,000 worth of work to install 50 seats. so we can comply with the next level of football. Seems a bit pricey to me, but what do I know? Unsurprisingly, George Baker-Moran got signing of the season with 27 goals in just 33 appearances. He also got a clean sweep in the club awards, managing to win Fans Player of the Year, Young Player of the Season, Signing of the Season, Goal of the Season, Top Goal Scorer, most Man of the Match awards, and highest average rating. He turned out to be quite the signing considering he didn't join us until a couple of months into the season. The finances don't look great with his 21 grand in the red, so the plan is to get promoted as quickly as possible so we can tie down players to real contracts and get some saleable assets, as well as praying for a decent cup run. Sounds easy, eh? So that does it for Season 1. So thank you very much for watching, really hope you enjoyed. If you did, let me know by leaving a like down below. Subscribe if you do want to see future seasons of this save. Say hello in the comments, and I'll catch you next time. Bye bye.